Iran has gone dark, and that itself tells a very powerful story here. When a government cuts the internet, it is usually because it fears what the world and its own people might see next. So on January 8th, Iran experienced a near total internet blackout. Mobile data collapsed, messaging apps stopped working, global connectivity dropped sharply across major cities. This was not a technical failure, this was a deliberate shutdown. And you know why this is happening? Because the streets are boiling. Anti-government protests have spread rapidly across Iran. Crowds have poured out in anger over economic pain, repression, years of frustration this is. Police vehicles were set on fire, government buildings were attacked. In fact, posters and portraits of the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, they were torn down and they were burnt. Well, these are acts of open defiance in a country where dissent is rarely tolerated. Well, the blackout came at the most sensitive moment. Authorities moved to silence phones and the screens, just as protests intensified. Without the internet, videos cannot spread. Without spreading the message, well, they cannot achieve the goal here. Without messaging apps, crowds cannot cooperate. Without social media, the world cannot watch in real time. Iran has used these tactics before, right? Each time unrest grows beyond control, the digital switch, it is flipped. Monitoring groups, they quickly confirmed the scale of the shutdown. Mobile networks, they were severely restricted. International traffic nearly vanished. Major platforms went offline almost simultaneously. Well, this was not limited to just one city, this was nationwide. Outside Iran, reactions were swift. US President Donald Trump, he openly praised the protesters, calling them brave and courageous. He issued a warning to Tehran also, urging restraint and cautioning against the violent crackdowns there. Washington said that it was watching developments closely, signaling that Iran's internal crises have now become an international concern. Tehran's response, it was equally sharp, by the way. Iranian authorities, they blamed foreign interference. They accused outside powers of fueling the unrest and spreading chaos. Security operations were immediately intensified, more patrol, more arrests, more pressure on the protesters. In fact, the message from the state was clear: control must be restored at any point of time, at any cost. But here's the deeper issue. Internet blackouts do not calm societies. They expose fear at the top. When a government cuts communication, it admits one thing very clearly, that it is losing control of the narrative now. Now, for the ordinary Iranians, life has become even harder. Businesses cannot function, families cannot contact the loved ones, students, doctors, workers, they all are left disconnected from the outside world. The blackout punishes everybody, not just the protesters here. Zoom out and the picture, it looks very dangerous. A struggling economy, a furious population, a leadership that relies on force and silence. Well, history shows that shutting down the internet does not end the protests. It only delays the moment when pressure explodes again. So tonight, the key question is unavoidable, ladies and gentlemen. Is Iran facing another temporary uprising? Or is this the beginning of a deeper, more sustained revolt? Because when people, they are willing to protest even after the lights go out, and when a state responds by pulling the plug on the entire country, something fundamental is breaking, and once that break begins, no internet shutdown can stop it forever.